The NBA Summer League is over, with the Cavaliers crowned champions as basketball fans got their first glimpse at Victor Wembanyama, Scoot Henderson, Brandon Miller and a host of other stars on the rise. Now attention turns towards another intriguing offseason, with potential James Harden and Damian Lillard trades on the cards. The Los Angeles Lakers and Phoenix Suns have emerged as big winners from free agency so far, while the Houston Rockets made some peculiar moves in the summer. With all that in mind, here are a few key storylines to come out of the offseason so far. Starting off with Harden, all signs point towards there being no trade on the horizon in the short term at least, not that is a surprise anyway with Daryl Morey in charge. After all, Morey was more than happy to remain patient on the Ben Simmons trade front before eventually striking a deal to reunite with James Harden in Philadelphia. Now it looks like Harden is heading for the exit door, reportedly unhappy with the way the Sixers handled his potential free agency. That is according to The Athletic's Sam Amick, who wrote late last month that Harden was extremely upset and made his dissatisfaction clear. It looked clear for a while though that Simmons' days in Philadelphia were numbered, but that didn't stop Morey from holding out for the best value before trading the Australian. By all reports, the Clippers, Harden's preferred destination, could also be made to wait as Morey kicked off negotiations with an asking price which Adrian Wojnarowski described as exorbitant. Teams are not engaging the Sixers with the kind of asks that Daryl Morey is asking for James Harden, Wojnarowski said during a recent appearance on ESPN's NBA Today. That's where Daryl Morey always starts in trade talks, really high. Over time, perhaps, you work him back down. Although it is no sure thing at this point that Harden even ends up being traded, with rival executives telling The Athletic at Summer League that they are universally convinced Philadelphia is now trying to keep the 10-time All-Star. That is consistent with reporting from Wojnarowski, who predicted the Harden talks will linger into the summer as the 76ers hold out hope of finding a potential resolution. But like Ben Simmons, there's hope on the Sixers side that eventually, at some point, they can get James Harden on board about being in Philadelphia in the last year of this deal, the ESPN insider said. This opt-in that he did at $35.6 million. Now they may get to training camp and it may look different in Philly. They may have a James Harden who is not as enthusiastic about his return as they are. And then maybe they get more serious about it. One name that is highly unlikely to be seriously considered by the Sixers in any potential Harden package is young guard Tyrese Maxey, who is widely seen as untouchable. Kyle Neubeck of Philly Voice reported late last month that the 76ers are not expected to sign Maxey to any extension this offseason. However, as Neubeck wrote, this is not viewed as a condemnation of Maxey or a reflection of how the team values him. Rather, the Sixers still see the 22-year-old as a key part of their future but are hoping to guarantee future financial flexibility for potential moves in free agency next summer. Philadelphia is not the only team expected to play the waiting game when it comes to a superstar trade, with Portland still yet to find a deal for veteran guard Damian Lillard. Every man and his dog knows at this point that Miami is Lillard's favored landing spot, although the Heat's potential best offer isn't something the Blazers are willing to accept for now. Miami has 3 first-round picks it could stump up, although that would also require the Heat getting the Thunder to change the protection on their 2025 first that they owe them. A third team could then add in another first-round pick while the Heat also have 3 first-round swaps they could add to the table. Whether they are willing to part ways with all 3 remains to be seen, and for now there is no real incentive to do so with other teams not posing too much of a threat. The Blazers are reportedly after 4 first-round picks and a few young rotation players for Lillard, with Nikola Jovic and rookie Jamie Jaquez Jr. frequently mentioned in mock trades. Veteran Duncan Robinson, who is owed $18.1 million next season and has 3 years left on his current contract, or Caleb Martin, could also be dealt in a possible Lillard trade. Of course, Tyler Herro is the other name at the center of a deal with the Blazers, but he would likely end up at a third team as opposed to being sent to Portland in a straight-up deal. So, what is the latest on how close either side could be to a trade? Well, according to Wojnarowski, there is no reason for the Blazers to speed up the process with no looming deadline. They must make a move before. I think for the Portland Trail Blazers, they don't want to rush into what they consider a bad deal, Wojnarowski said on ESPN's NBA Today. The Miami Heat, the team that is most motivated to trade for Damian Lillard, where Damian Lillard wants to end up, they don't want to be in a situation where they're bidding against themselves right now. Which of these changes would be better for the teams? No team would like to lose stars like Damian Lillard or James Harden. What's your opinion? Write in the comments and stay tuned for the latest news in the wonderful world of the NBA.